The second question that we have is the parties have decided to sell the house, but do they have to agree on all of the other details? For example, the real estate agent, the listing price, do they both need to sign the listing agreement and the sales contract?
Traditionally, yes. Even if one party is the one really pushing for the sale of the house and they ultimately agree that they're going to sell the house, both of the parties are going to need to be involved in the listing agreement, the ultimate contract, the sales price. Now, occasionally this gets highly contentious, unfortunately, and we've seen it in our practice more than once. And if that's happening and the parties aren't getting to a point where they're agreeing on listing agents, where they're agreeing on sales price, you can bring it up to the judge and the judge will make that decision for you. And the judge will sit everyone down and he or she will say, why do you have a problem with this listing agent? Why do you have a problem with this listing agent? Why do you have a problem with this listing price? And the judge will make that decision for everyone, unfortunately. Now, why you don't want to go that route is because that's going to cost you money. Every time you're in court, it's going to cost you more and more money. So the less time you spend in court and the more adult everyone is about this, the better. Additionally, what we like to do in our marital settlement agreements is build in a price range for a home. So the parties traditionally, they have to agree on a listing price and then they have to take any reasonable offer. And traditionally, we define a reasonable offer with about 5% of the listing price.
Okay, because it is a normal thing that your list price is not necessarily the offer prices that you
Absolutely.
receive. Another question that comes up as in relating to selling the house is, what if the home was purchased prior to the marriage, only one of the spouses is on the title to the home, but it is their homesteaded primary residence?
So that's a tricky question because the home itself is going to be considered a non-marital asset because it was purchased premarital, it was purchased with premarital funds. However, there is an analysis used to determine the marital portion of the non-marital asset. And that sounds tricky. But what it is through the marriage, there's going to be a pay down on the mortgage. And the principal pay down and the interest that is accrued from that principal pay down, there's a calculation that we use to figure out the marital portion of that. And so even though it's a non-marital asset, there's still a marital component to that non-marital asset. And we have a calculation that we use to figure that out. So even if it is not your property, technically speaking, you may still have an interest in a portion of it.
Got it. And you guys do all the math on that?
Yes.
Yes. It sounds complicated.
It is. It is. It's a complicated formula, but we figure it out. And if in bigger cases where we're dealing with very expensive properties and a long history of these what we call principal paydowns, we can bring in a certified financial analyst and or a CPA, I should say, and they'll do the hard work for us.
Gotcha.